Welcome to the Almost Perfect Podcast, a celebration of fuck-ups, failures, and falling flat on your face. This is a podcast that believes you can learn from experience, but that experience doesn't have to be your own. Hi, I'm Bob Perfect and I'm a functional fuck-up. Let's learn from somebody else's mistakes. And today we are learning from Vawda. Now, Mo is a comedian and a statistician. He's actually he lectures masters in stats, so yeah, he knows the numbers, he knows the odds, and he still went into a career in stand-up comedy. Mo also creates a lot of different videos. He creates Shop Boys, which is a web series, and then him and Jem Atkins used to have the Jem and Mo show. So you probably already know Mo, you probably already know his work, but you're gonna get to know him just a little bit better in this podcast. We actually get deep, man. We find out how the passing of his father actually led to him starting stand-up comedy, and just the impact that his parents have had on his life and on his career, and how their support, pushes him forward, and why he's named his upcoming solo show My Father's Son. So yeah, we chat about that. We chat about what it's like to be a Muslim comic in South Africa, especially with some of the less savory gigs out there that most comedians have to do to start out, your open mic gigs in, sketchy places, I guess. I guess that's how we'll say it. But yeah, we chat a bit about that, and mostly we just laugh a lot, man. We crack a lot of jokes, we go back and forth, we argue a bit, we agree a bit, and overall just have a lot of fucking laughs. So I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I think you're going to enjoy it too. And I hope you've had a good week. How are you living? You share the love this week with people that you love? Were you one of those people on social media talking about your forever fucking Valentine? Yeah, I hate you people. Like, I resent you people. I personally wish you nothing but unhappiness, and I hope your heart gets broken just like mine was. Like, that's misery loves company, people. And I'm not gonna lie, it's getting pretty lonely here. Like, I've never really given a fuck about Valentine's Day. Obviously, commercial holidays to express love is silly. But seeing everyone proclaiming and declaring their undying love for each other whilst, you're going through a breakup, ain't a good time, people. It's what the kids these days call triggering. It stirred up some fucking uncomfortable feelings within me and turned me into a bit of a grouch, and I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't particularly like it, but just gotta live through it. Just gotta fucking feel my feelings, and fucking, one day, maybe I will be happy again. Maybe. Probably not. Speaking of being unhappy, it's my fucking birthday on Tuesday, so definitely not looking forward to that at the moment. Like, the fucking passing of time is weighing on me heavily, and it is because as you get older, the people you love leave. Sometimes they leave you personally, and sometimes they just leave the city that you're in, Like, I've got a lot of friends who are no longer here, no longer with me, and I guess I mean that in both senses of that term. Because, also, as you get older, a lot of friends do start passing away, and it gets a little lonely, people, is all I'm saying. Like, this is probably the loneliest I've felt going into a birthday, and it's all temporary, man. No feeling is final, as they say. But it has just made me keen to get the fuck out of here and to spread my wings a bit and maybe start a new life somewhere else. Like, maybe we'll chat about that at the end of the podcast. I feel like I'm rambling a little now and not setting the tone for this interview too well. So I guess I need to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by you, which means you can support it by going to patreon.com/almostperfect, where you can subscribe to the Patreon for as little as $1 a month. There's a $1 tier, a $5 tier, and a $10 tier. You can go check that out for yourself. You can also go to almostperfect.co.za and you can buy some merch. There are t-shirts and there are mugs. And lastly, if you just want to give me some cash, there's like a Zapper thing on the website there. You can just scan it and just go, happy birthday, Bob. Hope you have a good one. Hope this money helps alleviate the heartbreak, you know? Maybe you can do that. But if not, I get it, man. Times are hard. Like, there's not a lot of money going around at the moment, or at least not in my circles. And I assume you're probably in my circle, so I get it. Instead, then, just share the thing, man. Tag us, we'll share your share, and then it can just become shareception. Anyway, with all that out the way, here comes the Almost Perfect Podcast with Vawda. So how are you living, Mo?
Oh, I didn't expect that question. I'm living great, man. Flip. I love that I have alopecia at the moment because of the stress of life.
Is that the same thing that Jada Pinkett Smith had? Or?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. But mine's on my beard. So as a Muslim guy, just...
Oh, I guess that's why, like, I just haven't, like, I could just blame that myself for never being able to grow a beard.
Yeah, I mean, you also have alopecia. I mean, we'll accept you into the fold, Bob Perfect.
What, the Will Smith Kung Fu Club?
Keep my wife's name.
Exactly, but yeah, so the alopecia, I guess we can chat about it. Has it had an effect on your self-esteem?
Not really. I don't hold much. I mean, look at it. It's just like a bald spot on my chin. It's just there. So every morning I look in the mirror while brushing the teeth, and I'm like, that's indicating that I have financial issues. So it's a reminder.
Oh wow! So your stress comes through like visibly.
So when Mo is stressed, he has no hair on his face.
Okay, good to know. Good to know going forward. So what's got you stressed, bro?
Finances, obviously. I mean, lockdown was...
Okay, so you still... Well, I mean, so that's the thing. Like, I'm kind of just, like, at that point now where I'm just used to being, like, more broke than I've ever been before. Like, before, like lockdown, I was, like, saving money. Yeah. Like, I was, like, I had investments.
Yes.
Life was looking up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then by the end of, the pandemic, I owed people money. Like, there were no investments left.
At least you owed people. I owe the bank. Like, the big boss.
Yeah, the bank doesn't loan me money, so like, oh shit!
Oh, it's that Bob again.
Yeah, we don't do handouts.
Well, if you go to the Muslim community, they do on Thursdays.
Oh, okay. I guess we could start getting a little serious. But you've got a good job. You're a successful comedian. All those things.
Yeah, I mean, face value, it looks like. But prior to lockdown, I was like, I got money. I can buy stuff. So I started buying stuff on credit. And then suddenly, lockdown hit.
So the thing that, like, every financial advisor says don't do, you were just like, I'm a statistician. I know the stats.
Yeah.
Like, the stats definitely are totally in my favor here. Like, 100%. It never goes bad.
What could go wrong?
Oh.
And then lockdown hit, and then all the extra income, then some of the the salary got cut too. So I mean, it was difficult. 2.5 years of nothing, no comedy money. Yeah, it was hard. It was difficult. The coping, I didn't even know how to cope actually. And who do you turn to? So eventually. Now things are looking up again. Woohoo! But I have to catch up for 2.5 years of loans.
That's exactly it. I'm like, I've just paid off people that I owed money like recently.
Nice, bro. That's such a positive.
And I started like putting a little bit of money into my easy equities again. I'm like, there we go. Like,
and also like you don't have any other financial burdens.
No.
Girlfriend.
Oh, gee, thanks for bringing that up. Although, it is a little weird to like I didn't realize just how much of my budget did go to just having a girlfriend. You know, like
100%. I get you. I mean, I can't even imagine what you're going through now. Obviously, like I'm sure the heartache is worse than the financial loss, but
probably. But I did buy myself a trip to Cape Town, so like,
look at you balling.
And I fucking paid for like an Airbnb for a week, like just. Bam! Oh. In gardens.
Oh my god! Look at this guy. Who are you, Bob?
I'm a guy who's eating noodles for these 2 months, but like,
I hope it's Samyang because it's halal. Like that's my biggest concern.
I just get get the noodles from what's the place again? Garima's. I just get the 5-packs, the super hot
the cuck
like
one. Yeah, just
the 4 times spicy. Because in that way you don't want to eat again for the rest of the day. So it's perfect. It's great for weight loss.
I mean, 4 times spicy. How's your toilet situation?
Well, listen, I've got a snake and I've got a plunger. So.
Oh, nice. That's exactly what you need.
Oh man, yeah. So where were we? Yeah, financial burdens. Also, I don't have a kid with you.
Oh yeah. I have 2 of them.
Oh, you got 2 now.
So they're a bit much. They're financially. I mean, school fees, bro. I don't know if I can talk about this, but school fees, bro. Like you can't send your kids to government school anymore because there's like everything wrong with government school. And then you look for a private school and the cheapest one is like 40 grand a year. I mean, I remember paying like 1,000 rand. And that was a lot of money back then because I'm old. And now I'm paying 40 grand a kid.
And how old?
There's 2 and 7.
A 2-year-old isn't, and you're not paying that for
No,
that.
not yet. Next year. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool. I've been
insane.
thinking about getting a vasectomy like this year. Like that might just be a birthday present to myself. Like,
you should consider sterility. To all your listeners.
I mean, personally also like, I just want to be able to live a wasteful life.
No, I love that.
And so
I mean, you're living the dream, Bob.
But it's also like, if I don't have a kid, then I can have any amount of carbon emissions. It's totally fine.
That's amazing. You don't have to worry about future generations.
Exactly. I don't have to literally worry about like, is my kid going to be able to survive the zombie apocalypse?
And you don't care. It doesn't matter. Like I read a statistic the other day.
As you would.
They said in 7 million years from now, Africa is going to split in half. And South Africa is going to be separated. Western Cape and our KZN is all going to be split up. So we're going to be separated in 7. And
so the DA is finally going to get what they want.
7 million years from now. Yeah, big concerns.
will still be around. So.
Big concern. Yeah. So finances. Yeah, that's it's something a statistician as myself should know, but I have no idea how to deal with it at the moment. So if any of the listeners are going through financial issues, don't call me. I got no advice for you.
Yeah, well, have you been like, maybe I should have gone into finance instead of stats? Or like,
yeah, exactly.
So how like you're someone you're a lecturer, right?
Yeah.
That's your day job, but like everyone knows you as a comedian who you don't lecture, but even they probably know you as a bit of a joke.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and this, I mean, my students, I'm quite, harsh and stern and strict. And
really?
Nobody really can see that about me, but I have to be. I mean, I'm teaching masters in stats. And
I mean, just this entire conversation, you'd be laughing the entire time. Every time we hang out, like it's all laughter. So I can't imagine you being serious.
If I'm that way with my kids and my students, they just... they would not learn a thing. That's the problem. Like, you just learn that over time. I've been teaching for 13 years now. Yeah. Lecturing for a long, long time.
And comedy about 12?
No. Comedy, I started 2016. So not too long. Yeah, but 5, 6, 7 years.
Oh, I remember you from... Oh, it's from because I quit for a while, and then when I came back, yes,
yeah, exactly.
That was okay. Yes,
yeah. So I'm quite new in comedy compared to you guys. You guys are the fossils.
Yeah, but you've done way more gigs than me.
Listen, I'm a suck up. That's why I'm like, hey, can I please get a gig, man?
It's also they aren't like built-in atheist audiences.
Come on, John Bismuth does so well.
Yeah, but I think everyone thinks he's Jewish. So.
Did you hear his Adam and Eve story? That's how you know.
No, I haven't engaged with his work in a while. Yeah. But that's just my personal taste and preferences. We're not going to get into that. Yeah, I'm sure people can bring up old tweets if they want to know.
Do you do themed music in your podcast?
I don't. Oh. You can just, but you as a master of like, these sorts of things. Fuck. Yeah, actually, when did you start beatboxing?
Oh, I was probably 9 years old, and I just But I mean, I'm not good at it. I just
You just can do it.
I can do it.
You can do the basics. Like, you're not like, creating whole new songs, but
you know.
But you're doing about as well as most comedians who play guitar can play guitar. You know,
exactly. Yeah, I just know a skill, like floating flat stones on the riverbed. You know, just like it's just one of those skills. You can make it bounce 3 times, Bob. 3 times.
3 times. And okay, so you just been doing it your whole life.
Yeah.
Was it, you never like went to competitions? You never did it for your friends whilst they rapped or anything?
No, I haven't won comedy competitions either.
I mean, there's a reason for that. But
yeah, I mean, I'm funny. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, you're just not the funniest.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, Bob, every time you're on the lineup, you always overtake me, you know?
I mean, it does depend on the line. Like, it depends on gigs, like, as to who's going to be the best on the night a lot of the time. Like,
of course.
You can like be at your best, but if the audience like just isn't your audience, and you have not brought like a set that, because that's the thing, you have to learn like, okay, like I can't be myself tonight.
Yeah.
Like if I must, like I learned that like after a few years, because like it was just like, everyone tells you in comedy, just be yourself, just be yourself. And things were not going that well for me when I was always just being myself.
The problem with me is like I'm too much of a nice comedian. Like I'm never over the edge. And so when I have a drunk audience that wants raw comedy, then I lose the battle immediately. I'm like, where's Bob? We need Bob now.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've all got our skills and our
audiences. Yeah, you can't please everybody in comedy. Yeah, and that's a difficult lesson to learn. And the thing is, because I'm so not edgy, I have a bigger audience because of that. Because they can
people can bring their kids to your show.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh yeah, he's not going to be vulgar or what. But
people have brought their kids to my shows, but
they were traumatized. Yeah. So I mean, lecturing I've been doing for 13 years, and I have been studying for a very long time.
Yeah, because you're what, like in your 60s now?
Yeah, I'm in my 70s. I feel like that financially, and so.
What, retired? Like, got a big...
No, the other one. Those homeless dudes that are on at the traffic lights. Yeah, so long time, 5 degrees later, here I am just...
5 degrees?
Yeah.
That's unnecessary.
I know, it's just because I didn't know what I wanted to be. Like, that's it. Now I'm lecturing and a comedian. It's got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, okay, so what 5 degrees do you have?
So engineering, electrical.
Of course.
Like, I'm Indian Muslim. Like
literally. Like,
typical.
That was the first one, I assume, for the parents.
Like, exactly. Yeah. And then when I was done with that, I was like, this is boring. There's no human element. So I went completely the opposite, and I went into psychology, sociology. So I was like, oh, I want to do something with the human aspect.
Was it not just to because everyone else studies psychology just because they want to figure out why they're fucked up?
No, that wasn't the reason. No. It could have come out later. Then I realized, oh, that's why I'm effed up. You know, that's. And then the third degree was actuarial science, and that was fun. And then
really, that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I did that because it encapsulated both the stats component and the human aspect through research. And then that's why I did my master's and PhD in the same population statistics. So yeah. Long time, lots of studies, didn't know what to do.
And so, as a percentage, how many people overspend not expecting a pandemic to happen?
All of us.
Does knowing stats change how you live your life?
Not at all. I don't use it. I know it, I just don't use it. If I start using it, I'll probably
just never leave the house.
Exactly. I'll probably live indoors and on my bed and probably get septicemia and
yeah, you're gonna get got some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Alopecia, not yeah.
I mean, that's fine in comparison.
Yeah.
And so then, how did you start comedy?
Oof. This is a difficult
How's this a difficult question? Usually it's, I saw other people doing comedy, I thought they sucked and I could do it better, so I signed up for an open mic night.
So I have this joke that I do amongst people, and
Not amongst animals.
amongst people who ask me why I started comedy. So I start off by just saying this one line and just remaining silent and see the reaction. So here we go, Bob. So I started comedy because my dad died. And that's usually the reaction I get. It's like, I don't know what to do with that, Mo. So, well, the thing is, my dad and I were tight. Like, we were really tight. And
he loved stand-up comedy.
He didn't have stand-up comedy.
Okay.
He was a joker. So he used to go into like all these places where people are looking sad, and like especially tellers at these well-known supermarkets. And so he used to do those things and he used to make them laugh. And it made their day. And it was the best moments. Like he used to make everybody just happy, and it was amazing. He was this amazing guy.
Why are you doing this for free?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, come on, do it on stage, Dad. And so when he passed away, it was quite traumatic, and I went into deep depression for 2 years, and 2.5 years actually. 2016, I saw this sign at the university because I was teaching there at the coffee shop. There was a sign that says, "Do you think you're funny?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I'm funny. I can be funny." And so I pulled this WhatsApp number and I messaged the guy immediately. I don't know if you remember him, Shaq MJ. He ran Fat Bears.
I never did Fat Bears, never. Yeah. So don't know them. No.
Yeah, so that's where I started.
I didn't cross the fucking river, dog. Like, only time I cross that river is because I'm catching a flat the fuck out of you.
So I WhatsApped him and I said, can I do some comedy? And then he said, yeah, come tomorrow. And he said, do you have 5 minutes? I'm like, I don't have anything. So I made all these Pakistani jokes because that's my people. I mean, I'm not from Pakistan, but I love Pakistanis. They cut my hair nicely. And so I then did the 5 minutes of comedy, and I smashed the thing. And smashed it. And my mom was there.
That's why you did well.
At the bar. That's how much she supported me. She was at the at this bar, and she's like, "Where the heck are you taking me?" And then she gets in there. She's wearing hijab and everything. She sat at the back and she was praying the whole time. And so I did really well, and I never looked back. Yeah.
So how does your mom feel about your career taking you to many a haram place?
Well, I mean, I try not to do those bars and pubs, but it's...
I mean, that's where all the open mic gigs
are. Exactly.
Like,
you have to try material. Yeah, exactly. So you have to try material. So now I'm trying to avoid
especially starting out. Like, that's the thing. I think nowadays, like, you don't need to.
I don't need to, no.
Like, yeah, because you got gigs.
Yeah.
The bookings are coming in.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and also I'm trying to make my own gigs at the halal places so that we can do comedy. The only problem is people aren't drunk enough to laugh out loud. So the laughter is quite subdued compared to...
Or maybe you're just getting an accurate representation of your comedy.
It could be that, but I mean, everybody dies at these gigs. I mean, the best of the best. Come on.
I mean, you haven't booked me.
I did, actually. And you didn't show up. And I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's not me. That's not me. If I'm being paid, I'm showing up.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't being paid. No one was being paid.
Okay, then I understand why I wasn't there.
Yeah, but I mean, I am trying to grow the Durban scene again. And there will be comedy coming through from April, hopefully, after Ramadan. So,
yeah, I hit a scene because I'm going down to Cape Town. I was like, you got any gigs? I was like, when are you coming? And he was like, it's Ramadan, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why flats are cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody does anything in Ramadan. We just pray.
Yeah. I mean, how's that working out for you?
Amazing. I have a lot of financial burden, though.
Well, so you did well, then you eventually probably got in touch with me to come to the Winston and like...
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for places. I needed to try out new stuff, and I only have old stuff, and everybody wants new stuff. And then you can't do new stuff at bigger shows because everyone says, oh, that sucks.
I mean, I do. but like I'm built different.
Yeah, you can take it. I can't. Like if the audience is not laughing, I
don't mind if they don't laugh at like a joke or two jokes, because I don't mind throwing in like in the middle, especially like a minute where I'm like trying something, and like if it dies, just go. Probably shouldn't try new jokes at big gigs like this.
But I've tried it. I've done new gags in between my old gags.
Yeah.
But people still think that my entire set is an old set because it's encapsulated.
Of course.
I
mean, that does happen, and that's like why you just got to like rotate stuff. But I guess this is the thing that you guys have problem with because you don't have as much space. So me, like I'm always experimenting, always trying new stuff, always adding things. And I get the same thing sometimes where people are like, "Oh, you did that before." I was like, "No, I did the first like
part,
like
the last part, but
you know the 7 minutes like exactly. After that minutes like where you knew the joke, yeah, that's all different."
And the problem is a lot of these gigs they hire you for 45 minutes to an hour, and you like, how am I gonna do an hour of new material, dude? Come on, give me a break. And I try and fit in 15 to 20 minutes of new material in an hour gig, and so they still don't see it. I don't know how. But they don't see it because they only see the old stuff. And
that might be a problem for you where you are just playing to a lot of the same audiences by just doing the Muslim community.
I need to get a little bit out of this community, like get a bigger fan base. Hey, Bob's fan base, listen. Come to my shows. I'm funny.
Yeah, they love PG.
Listen, I can do below the belt, okay? It just won't be in your face, It's just subtle, indirect.
Below the belt, but it won't be in your face. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I hope they pick that up.
But you like travel quite a bit because of lecturing and that nowadays, don't you? So don't you double up with some gigs when you travel?
I don't have time when I do work gigs. Work stuff. It's difficult. Like you at a conference for the entire day. Sometimes it goes through to the night time. You finish at like 9:30, and you're leaving a venue, and then you get to the new place, and then you have to be like, "Hey, please, can I please jump on your lineup?" And then,
well, you hit them up before you get there.
But what if I don't make it? It's like, and then it's like, oh, he didn't make it. Mo's unreliable.
It just sounds like you don't want it enough.
I do want it, Bob. I do want it.
But have you done like many overseas gigs? Like,
no, not really. I haven't tried. I wanna, but I will eventually. It's just, the self-esteem thing, the self-confidence, Like imagine doing a first-time international audience, and they look forward to it, and you get there, and it's like crickets. That's a nightmare.
I've listened to enough like podcasts with comedians to know that that's probably gonna fucking happen. Like Mark Maron, like even on a recent podcast was talking about like how he took a booking in Australia where they like booked him for a headline tour, and he did not have an hour. Like he barely had 45, and so like they sent him home like pretty much after the first night.
He probably didn't have a good 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we all have like 3 hours of material, or more. It's all about the good 45.
Exactly. That is the process with it. It's like, well, how often, that's the thing, how often are you writing? Because like, it seems like you're producing a lot of stuff, like I see you always doing videos and stuff, I've got you muted on the main feed, but like, I know, like, because if I have to mute people, I know they're creating a lot of content, like.
No, I mean, I have a lot of fun making these videos. It's part of me. I like to do it. I don't know why. I don't do it for the likes.
But what are these videos? Describe it to the listener who has no clue who you are.
My gosh, it's different things. I do a lot of Indian stuff. I like doing web series. So my web series, I don't know if you've watched it. It's called Shop Boys. With Prashant.
Okay. Yes, I think I saw it when it first came out. Yeah.
It's very Indian, but it's very funny.
Yeah.
Even if you watch it as a non-Indian person, you'd find it humorous. But I think that's a good one. I'm gonna keep it. And I did a lot of writing with Jem, as you know, Jem and Mo show. I enjoy writing comedy, not as much as you. I think I don't write as much as you, but whenever I write something, I want to film it, even if Even
Even
if
if it
I get
sucks.
nothing out of it,
See,
Yeah.
I'm seeing the issue here with the lack of open mic gigs for you to test stuff here, because you're like, I'm just gonna write this and film the thing and put it out there, and it's like, but you're like, I'm not gonna try new things at a big show where it's like, I don't know, I feel like
That's my outlet. I think the videos are my outlet for the new stuff. But I am writing a lot of new stand-up comedy. I'm trying to do my one-man show this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be called My Father's Son.
okay,
So because it's 10 years since my dad
like
passed.
son of Carol and like
Oh.
just
Yeah,
all
I didn't even think about that. Son of Patricia.
all the people,
Yeah. So mine's my father's son because my dad inspired me. And so I live his legacy through comedy basically. And therefore I think I should dedicate this one-man show to him and his life and talk about who he was, kind of thing. Yeah. So it's going to be called My Father's Son.
Yeah, that's why my first show was called Beelzebub. Same
Same
reason.
thing. My Father's Son.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, that was. Hey, magic happens. If you need a new writing partner now that Jim's pretty busy,
Yeah, no, I'd love to.
I'll recommend someone to you.
Hey, asshole.
I don't know if you know that this is the roast of Mo Vawda. Like, that's what I invited you to here today.
So tell me, Bob.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna turn things around.
Why did you start comedy?
Why did I start comedy? Well, a number of reasons, but like I had a beef with God,
You're like, yay.
and I felt like it was, all the people who I respected and looked up to, like George Carlin, like Bill Hicks, like a lot of different people, used that as an arena to box with God.
Nice.
And I went and watched a comedy show, an open mic comedy show at the Winston, and it was not very good.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. I was like, if this is the bar,
Yeah.
then I think we're good. And then I tried from there, and I've inspired many people the same way with my own performance.
Oh, come on, Bob.
No, I mean, like any comedian, I've, died horrible deaths. I've also smashed it, killed, murdered, bro. Absolutely. But yeah, so for me, it was originally just it's a way to express yourself. It still is. It's a way for me to, engage with the world and, soften some of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But that's never actually what happens. It's never softer.
I've seen you throw a chair at the audience one time at the Winston.
I don't remember that. Why?
I think you got really sloshed and no one was laughing that night. And so you took a chair and you're like, I'm funny. And you threw the chair at somebody. It was one of those nights for you, Bob.
Yeah.
So having said that, what's your worst gig ever that you remember?
I don't know. I mean, there's just been disappointing gigs. The worst gigs for me are the ones where you're prepared for it and it's a big crowd and you're feeling good about it going into it and then nothing hits.
Yo.
And you just 5 minutes into a 15-minute set and you're just fuck, I just want to get off the stage. I think I had one of those at Melville, the one time at Melville where I just stank up the fucking joint. But every other time, literally every other gig I've had at Joburg, amazing. But just the one fucking night. I literally did get off at about 7 minutes. It was just you know what,
I'm done. Thank you, guys.
yeah, I'm gonna go outside and rather, risk getting mugged.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had some crap gigs. I've died at Winston and I smashed at Winston. But
yeah, but that's fine. That's the thing. Dying at the Winston is necessary.
Yeah, just for the new stuff, you need to know. Oh, that sucks. You can't use that stuff.
Yeah, but it's also, it's the crowd, it's the environment. It's more like what I say. It's necessary, and that it fucking humbles you and it teaches you I think it's important if you're a young comedian to try and do shitty gigs for your first couple years, just because it does make you a better comic. It makes you fight harder. It makes you learn how to engage with, the audience, how to single people out, how to actually, it teaches you skills that are necessary, because bigger gigs are easy.
Yeah.
Sure. It's way easier to make 100 people laugh than it is to make 10.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the thing. So if, you're a good promoter, you can be an average comedian and still do pretty well.
Yeah, we know a lot of those. Well, perfect. And I'm kidding. So, but by far, Winston was not my worst gig. I've had my worst gig, believe it or not, very recently in November. It was extremely embarrassing. So these people called me through recommendation, and they were given this big thing about how amazing Mo Farah and how funny he is and whatever, and they paid my price to MC the event.
And that never happens. Everyone's always like, I can give you this much.
Yeah, exactly. So they were like, yeah, we'll give you the amount, whatever you want, come and do this thing. So I get there, and it starts off an hour later, and I'm gonna MC, okay? And then they want me to do 30 minutes of comedy in between that, like a set segment. And so load shedding hits. And it's supposed to start at 7. We started at 8. Load shedding hits 8 to 10, right? And so we wait. And they said, let's wait. So I said, okay, let's wait. Starts at 10 o'clock.
I'm literally paid by the hour.
Yeah, I was. And I said that. And they were like, come on, Mo. I was like, okay, fine. Started at 10 o'clock. Bro, when I tell you there were 100 people there, probably, maybe more, and not a single one giggled or smiled or looked like even slightly entertained. I've
been waiting for 3 hours.
It was the worst death I've ever experienced. And I had to stand there for 30 minutes because that's what I was paid to do. And die so hard.
Were you just like, but also because you've also waited these 3 hours. So you're like, fuck it. Like, I'm not like.
But nothing was working. Nothing. My gold material, my improv.
Why did you not just go to crowd work, dog?
That's what I'm saying. I did crowd work and they weren't giving me anything. I thought I was hilarious, to be honest. I was loving it because I was picking on people and they were I was loving it and it was funny. It wasn't below the belt stuff either. So I didn't understand. Eventually, at the end, I just told them, listen, guys, it's either, my material is too funny for you or you guys are just stupid. And I said, I know my material is funny. And so they took offense to that eventually. And I apologized and I did another joke and left. But yeah, it gave me a lot of hard skin, bro.
But that is often a strategy. Like if the crowd's not with you and you've got time, you start going, yeah, this is your fucking problem.
Yeah, it's not my problem.
Like, what kind of household did you grow up in that you don't find these kind of jokes funny? Like, this is classic comedy.
Exactly.
Like, Bill Cosby stuff. I mean, classic. To put them to sleep.
Out of all my gigs, I think I've smashed probably.
That, but it's okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that last part. Say it again.
So Bill Cosby jokes, you put them to sleep.
No, come on, I don't want to talk about stuff below the belt. So.
We're not.
He was below the belt.
Yes, but not with.
That's why I put them to sleep.
Yeah. Anyway, my little editor.
Okay. Anyway, so but out of all my gigs, I've done really, really well. But my favorite. What's your favorite first?
My favorite gig? Shit. I've got no idea. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, actually, fuck. Yeah. Like, there's been a few, like, there was one gig at the Box that I did really well. And, like, they were like, it's kind of the gig that, like, got me, like, my foot in the door in Joburg. No. There was, like, a weekend where I, like, killed it at Kitchener's and then, like, I did the Box. And, like, but, like, because no one really, like, they knew who I was from the internet and that. Yeah. But they hadn't seen me do comedy. Oh. And like there was this one night at Kitchener's where everyone was dying. Yes. Like everyone was dying. And then there was this like white boy from Mobilo like coming through, like literally like, it's a crowd of black students and like managed to, by the end of it, like have them like all laughing and like, like it turned the like mat around.
That's amazing.
And like those are the kind of gigs.
That's a
but
skill.
for me, it was just like being in another city and having that happen, and like not like there were like a couple people in the crowd, but it's nice when like you travel and you do well because all the other comedians like. They don't know you. They haven't seen like your shitty gigs. They haven't seen like because you all see each other like like in Durban. We all think we ain't shit. Like no one thinks anyone else is good at comedy because we've all seen each other suck at comedy.
100%.
But like now, if I travel, like even in Cape Town, like I've done pretty well at most gigs. Although I've had a gig where like Lisa Madinga and I like had like it was like to like fucking like 7 or 8 people. And like we had the best night afterwards, but it was just like fighting. It was just like not going down, baby. Like you motherfuckers are gonna laugh tonight. Like
oh, I hate the gigs where you're chasing that laugh. Oh man, that's the worst. Like, okay, one more gag, guys. One more gag.
So I enjoy that. Like I know you shouldn't, but like I sometimes do perform for other comedians. Like, when I'm traveling, like all I want is like the other comedians to go
recognition. Yeah.
Like,
I know I've done that a lot. I think Goliaths, I did that once, but the comedians didn't like me afterwards because I smashed so hard.
Maybe they just don't like your material.
No, they actually did. They were complimentary, but I could feel the vibe. You know that vibe when you're like,
oh, good gig, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That was good gags. Oh, we didn't expect that.
Yeah, you got a good slot, eh? Yeah. You're lucky I opened for you. Like, it was cool. I led them up and, like, you smashed it, dude. Like, you really, like, I set it up. You knocked it out the park. Like, we're a good team, bro. Like,
exactly. But my favorite gig, and I don't know if it's got to do with numbers, but that night, I did the best on the night. Well, that's what I was told. That's not my opinion. But it was so good. 7,500 people, bro. And every time this ICC has this thing and the crowd goes wild, they put the lights on.
Yeah.
And so I had that moment in my 12-minute set 5 times. So that's how well that crowd was enjoying my comedy. And for me, that's amazing. I know big crowds, you expect the big laughs.
Yeah, but I mean, just getting to even be in front of 7,500 people is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, it was out of this world. And that roaring laughter, it takes about 6 to 7 seconds for you
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, been there many times. Like, just at this point, I'm bored by it.
I'm sorry. I'm not being boastful. I'm just like, reminiscing. It was beautiful because it was before lockdown. And just before lockdown, my career
I hope it wasn't during lockdown.
I mean, before lockdown, my career was like almost at its peak because, Blue Bloods was signing me on and doing my one-man show that year in September. And then March came and boom, everything just gone. So now I'm trying to build that up again. But Kings and Queens of Comedy, bro. It was something out of this world.
Oh, it was for that. Oh, but that gig could also be quite crazy because it's long.
It's long, yeah. Oh, and I was worried because I was late in the lineup. 2:00 in the morning. Exactly. You sound like The Grudge.
Yeah, I got a grudge against people who don't fucking book me. Nah, I'm quite content with my things I'm doing. But...
No, The Grudge, the movie.
Yes, I know.
Yes,
I know.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
Oh, you were trying to do a pun.
Try.
See, this is why they don't book you, Bob. You get too complex with your jokes, man.
Yeah, just puns. Like, it's too complex, man.
Yeah,
a word that means 2 things.
Who's gonna understand it?
Shit, man. You did a double entendre. I'm just used to a single.
See, and you even use the word double entendre. Who uses that?
Yeah. So, yeah, what you're saying is you don't respect South African audiences and you think that they're all idiots.
No.
I mean, that's what
the audience are telling me that. I'm not telling them that. I try and do intelligent jokes, but they just look at me. What does that even mean,
Yeah, but what I've learned, so... like the frame of reference stuff is like, I mean, it's something you get taught like early on in comedy, and I've always just been like, nah, fuck that. Because like, here's what you find funny, here's, what people know, and like, crossing that over, finding the little fucking what's the Venn diagram where it crosses over between your interest and public's interest and making stuff funny.
Yes.
But like I found, you just tell them a little bit about the thing you're gonna make a joke about before you tell the joke.
Yes.
Yeah, you can get them on board. Like I've got this whole bit now about like the Heaven's Gate cult, and actually I just tell people about the cults and what I like about them and explain it to them.
You get enough stage time. That's what that's telling me. If you have to explain your joke before you tell them the joke, the context, then you got too much time on stage. Like that's it.
No, I've got enough time on stage. Like that's good. Like I'm sorry that like I like to educate people. I like to go, hey everyone, let's have a new experience here.
Well, so I deal with this differently. So what I do is if I find the audience not getting, because I do have a lot of jokes that are a bit intelligent, and if they're not getting it, then I do this joke where I say, okay, let me show you how intelligent this crowd is. So if I have two epidermal layers that are in close proximity together, that are immovable, and I introduce a gas between them, they reach a state of flux. And the crowd looks at me and I'm like, that's a fart joke because your bum cheeks go like this. So exactly, that's so then they look at me and like, so
is that really a clever joke, or is that just one that like use a fucking thesaurus?
It's not a joke. It's just to show the audience that you can be intelligent if you just pay attention.
Once again, I don't think using big words is being intelligent.
Come on, it is. What do you think professors sound like? They tell you stuff like, "Oh, we're going to..."
No, I think it's kind of weak when people use big words when, you know, semantically diminutive or semantically equivalent words would do, you know? Like you can use a diminutive word to not discombobulate people.
Oh, yeah, this guy farted versus what I just said. Exactly, yeah. It's just to establish how clever. Like the one guy says, what's the name of that one Durban girls high school that, you know?
Maristella.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to suss out whether my audience is clever or not. And that joke doesn't do it, obviously. But a lot of jokes of mine do that. And then I have to
I think it's about... Yeah, see, I don't know. Like, as I say, like, I've got a problem with calling audiences dumb. I think, like, as a comedian, like... Yeah, like you can work stuff out and go, okay, this audience doesn't have the same frame of reference as me. But like people are smart about shit that you don't know fuck all about.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like politics. I don't know anything about politics.
Yeah.
As soon as comedians start talking about politics on stage, I shut down immediately because I don't know. It's
here's the thing, I just know who everyone hates. So like I just know the scandals around certain people. Yeah. And so I just make them into punchlines.
Yeah, exactly. It's just Cyril versus Julius. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, but yeah, like I mean obviously like I've got my Helen Ziller DA jokes, you know.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Everyone has those in their pocket. Yeah, but as I just want to clarify, I don't think my audiences are dumb. I just say sometimes that I'm not I don't give proper explanations sometimes.
Well, but it's also maybe not that. It's also like as we were saying earlier, like some audiences just aren't for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know that. Like frame of reference, I don't click with some audiences, definitely. Especially the Muslim audience that's very orthodox. They genuinely don't like comedy, so I don't know why they call me sometimes. But I guess, yeah, those are my most difficult audiences. The Orthodox Muslim comedy events, it's very difficult. I don't know if you've done any of those. But I mean, you look like you do a lot of them with your tattoos and stuff.
Literally, like I'm the kind of guy where Jehovah's Witnesses don't even fucking like ask me like anything. Like they see it, I was like, yeah.
Is that the most Orthodox Christian people you know?
I mean, no, they're definitely the most Orthodox, but they are like, you know,
strict,
culty. Like,
yeah. I know, I get you. I mean, Jehovah's Witness. I've never done a gig for them. I've done a gig for Jewish people, by the way.
Yeah, I did a Jehovah's Witness birthday party.
Yeah. Did you do knock jokes?
Fuck you, like that was so bad. Like,
come on,
like I was bad there. Like I was like, you
I just followed through.
Yeah,
like,
you just stank up the joint so hard. Like, fuck.
Knock. Who's there? What's the answer? It's a beggar on Thursdays.
What's with the beggar jokes? Come now.
Beggars, come on, I love beggars. They're amazing people. They have their own community. I believe.
obviously, yes.
I believe they have their own cult. Like they like I call it the Beganati. Like that's what it is. They have the Illuminati and they're the Beganati. They have their own underground things where they have a leader and they all follow the leader and he makes all this money.
So crack. You smoke crack, right?
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
Just wondering how you're coming up with these amazing theories.
I actually made a joke about this at the Winston, and it died, so I never used it again.
Yeah, I'm not big on mega jokes, to be completely honest.
Really?
Yes, really. Why are we making fun of people who have a terrible fucking time anyway?
I'm not picking on them having a terrible time. I'm pointing out the fact that these people are in need of us to take out of the cult that they're currently in. Yeah.
Cult, yes.
It is because I promise you'll see a guy who doesn't have a limb, and there's another guy who's pumping this guy out. I mean, at the robot and taking.
I mean, there are issues with that, that I've heard of. I mean, yes, but that's not a cult.
Come on, they follow this
That's
guy.
an abusive relationship, which also a lot of cults are.
Exactly.
But very different.
I believe there's a guy at a desk somewhere who's in charge of all these other guys. It's a bureaucracy. It's Beganati. I'm 100% sure.
I get why, this joke doesn't work. But yeah, how do you come up with your jokes? Do you sit down and write stuff? Do you think of just have thoughts or something?
Well,
do you have a notepad next to your bed? Do you write them down on your phone?
Yeah, I write it on my phone and my memo pad. And it's at random points that I think of something is really funny. And so it's based on me. I pick on me most of the time. I don't pick on anything else. I think it's the best humor, self-deprecating humor. That's why the Beganati joke doesn't work, because every time I try and pick on someone else, it doesn't work.
Don't pick poor people as your targets.
Listen,
punch up.
The problem,
punch up. It's a very simple concept.
The problem is I was a poor person at one point. Those were my people. And then,
says the man with 5 degrees.
And that's why I appreciate my dad so much. So my dad used to earn probably $1,000 a month or slightly more than that. And so every cent of his went into putting it into our studies. There's 4 of us, so 3 sisters and myself. So we literally grew up with nothing. And so he made sure that he gave us an education, even because of...
But I assume you did well at school as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get any bursaries?
Eventually I got scholarships, and that's how I made it through all my degrees.
I would have thought so.
Yeah. I mean, 1,000 rand a month doesn't cover that. But yeah, so initially all his money just went into educating us. And it was a difficult life. I won't lie to you. We used to work from the age of 9 years old. I used to work in a shop carrying cast iron tops and gas cylinders and all of these things. So my back is really broken at this point. I'm 36 now. So, I mean, it was a difficult life. And so...
if you're grown up Hindu Indian, you would have at least learned, some yoga.
Yeah, so, I mean, beggars are my people. I mean, I never begged, but I've lived through a difficult life with no money, no shelter, those...
See, that's why I can't make fun of, homeless people, because I'm just no, dog, I'm one step away from you. I'm literally 1 or 2 months away.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
No, but yeah, anyway, that's just my personal thing. I just do get annoyed whenever a comedian
goes beggars. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
I'm just trying to find what's the latest thing that I've written down.
Oh, well, I know next to my bed, so I've got a notepad and a fountain pen because I like writing. I like writing.
Fountain, fancy.
I've got 2 fountain pens. I've got a Parker and I've got an Oxford. The Oxford's next to the bed for just casual.
Oh my god, look at this guy.
The Parker is for my diary and for.
Today I got dumped.
That's literally when I started, with a book that she bought me for Christmas.
Oh, so, damn it. You should get another book, man. Burn that one.
Once this one's folded, there'll be the Bob got dump diaries. Like, I can just throw that away.
Bob, but listen, I'm sorry. I love you, man. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, really.
I mean, I'm still going through it, but yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it will take a long time to get over the whole thing because you guys have been together forever.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I
Longer
don't
than
know.
you've been doing comedy.
I don't know her at all. I mean, I met her once or twice, but bro, I got your back. Flip that woman.
Flip it in reverse. But as I was saying, next to my bed, what's the note that I took? Because I looked at it again this morning, and it was, Guy Ritchie is Snatch is the English Mr. Bones. And Guy Ritchie is because someone I chatted before was like talking about like how Guy Ritchie movies are actually like parodies essentially of like, you know, British culture.
Yes.
But we from outside of like England are like, oh, you know, that's what English culture is like. And it's kind of like, you know, Leon Schuster. Like
I love that.
it's just like taking, that was my thought before I went to bed last night.
Sometimes I wake up like at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't even remember waking up, but I write down a note about what I was thinking that was funny. And then I go back to sleep.
Literally.
And then I wake up in the morning thinking, did I actually? And then I go through my notes and it's a cuck joke.
Bro, that's the funniest part about the notes app and just stuff like that in general.
Yeah.
It's like, also like my notebooks, my early joke books, I'll go back and I'll be like, where's the fucking joke? Like,
exactly.
It's like, there's not even a good premise here. Like, it's like...
So this is the one that I wrote at 2:30 in the morning one time, long time ago. Nice. And I was like, so I have a brother that my parents adopted when he was like 9 or 10 or whatever. So him and I have a great relationship. So I just say, my brother and I have different ways to make children sleep. I go like the prayer one, I go Allah, 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 and he comes in and he goes skirpa, pa 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 pa, boom boom boom, boom. And the children sleep well with him. I don't know.
Let me see my notes if there's anything here. Shazam for birds.
What bird is this? Wait, what bird is this? What's this one? Wait.
Yeah. Anyway.
Come on.
What else?
I think personally, Hardy-das are hard of hearing. Like that's the reason. They're just like Indian birds that just they don't know how to say excuse me. They just say huh.
Oh wow, this is something I need to try maybe one day. This is one of my recent notes. It's the 30th of January, so 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Skin cancer. Dash. If you don't have melanin, stay the fuck inside during the day. I'm sure those people with melanin would appreciate it. You know how they sometimes ask women what they would do if there was a day without men? Melanites. What would you do if every day was without those who lack melanin?
I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh at the joke.
What? It's about white people staying inside and black people being free.
It's a cancer joke. Like you just said, don't pick on homeless people, and now you pick on.
Yeah, but like I'm going to get cancer. Like if we're all going to get cancer, you can make fun about cancer. We all know people.
You don't have cancer, Bob.
I probably do.
No, you don't have cancer. If you had cancer, fine. Go with the cancer jokes.
Oh, so that's it.
Yeah, exactly. If you're an Indian guy like myself, pick up Indian people.
Well, that's actually just because like I watched my grandfather die of skin cancer.
Oh, so shit. Snap.
I've got a lot of skin cancer jokes now.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of people to cancer. I mean, I don't know if I can make cancer jokes because I lost too many people. You know, it's too close to home.
I mean, that's why for me, there's a whole thing where it's just like it helps make everything a little bit easier to process. That's why like I make dark jokes, but like I don't make dark jokes like the way other, you know, well, I guess when I started, I was that edgy, you know, whatever. Nowadays, like, I just, like, I don't like, you know, the way, like, dark comedians, like, hey, man, here's my joke. Whereas I'm just like, hey, guys, here's a joke about, you know, genocide. And, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's really funny how polar bears are drowning and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, like just like yeah, like it's just like it's nonchalant darkness now, whereas because that's the world. Like the world is a dark, dark fucking place. But then also a lot of my shit's kind of silly.
I mean, everybody's getting offended by everything these days. So
let's talk about it, Mark. How do you feel about the wokes, hey?
I mean, I think now dark humor has become so massive because everybody's getting offended by everything you're saying. So everything starts being put into the tent of being dark humor. Like you start picking on women and then suddenly you're like, oh, that's dark, bro.
That's right. I haven't heard that, but I get what you mean there. But like, yeah, I mean, there is a weird thing in broader? No.
Broader?
Yeah.
What?
In broader like comedy culture, especially like in America where there is, you know, the whole culture war and stuff. But like you're like a PG comedian, so I doubt there's like anything you ever feel. Well, I mean, there's lots of stuff you can't say.
I say women love to exaggerate and I go on and talk about that.
So you just like being misogynistic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your shtick.
Yeah, and sometimes. Like I'm Muslim, we do that. And so I'm kidding. Muslim people, I love you guys. We're the same. Like,
Muslim people like
we're not allowed to be misogynistic. It's such a big misconception in Islam. Actually, you're not supposed to be
a shitty person.
A shitty person in general. Like you're a human being.
I mean, it's the same thing with Christianity, but you know, people pick and choose.
Let's do that one.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, the Bible says a man shall not sleep with another man because that was detestable by death. It also says you can't wear clothes with two different kinds of threads in it.
Yeah, like, exactly. Choose.
It's like if you got spandex with your carts in there, motherfucker, I'm gonna stone you. Like, let's go. Like,
do everything.
Because I wear 100% cotton, motherfucker, so I am without sin today.
You should do that on stage. How did Bob die? Well, he did this joke about cotton. What, did he pick on people picking cotton? No, it was much more mild.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard about my splashy fan sets.
I haven't.
Haven't you? The one where it was on Easter Sunday and like I swore God and like I got pulled off stage and then there's like a whole like 1-page article, like I've got it somewhere, like in the like Daily News.
Congratulations, bro. I mean,
it's the only way you're gonna get like press.
Exactly. Negative marketing is marketing.
It's like, I mean, I kind of chilled out after all of that, like for, you know, but there was a like when I met Colin Moss, he had heard the fucking story. Like, yeah, it was like one of those things. Like,
you met Colin Moss?
Yeah, he used to do comedy.
No way.
Yeah, we were like Facebook friends. I need to get him on here.
Bro, that's amazing. I want to meet that guy.
Colin Moss, number 10, hey?
Please invite me.
Yeah, fucking. Well, you'll be like my Hannibal Buress. Chilling.
Hi.
Chilling on the couch next to him. Yeah, that's a weird name drop.
What's up, Bob?
Who's the most famous person you've met because of comedy? Trevor Noah.
I haven't met Trevor.
Have you not met Trevor?
Well, when I started comedy, he was already gone.
Okay.
He wasn't in South Africa anymore. And when he did come down, he was in Joburg.
And really? He was in Durban
for a small while.
Oh shit, Dusty was still here when he was last in Durban that I went.
No.
So.
It was after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last show of his I went to was with Dusty, so yeah.
Yeah, Dusty just left when I started. He was like, psh, look who's starting comedy now, I'm out of here. No, but I mean, I've never met Trevor Noah, so he's not the most famous. I think it's probably Steve Harvey.
Yeah, but like every South African comedian's met Steve Harvey at this point.
Yeah, he doesn't count.
Did you go to like the little talk that he had?
Yeah, I did.
Was it valuable for you?
Bro, I don't know. Like, I was just in awe.
Shit, dude. Like, no, I don't give a fuck about Steve Harvey for shit, dude. Fuck that.
No, I was in awe because the guy is tall. Like, that's why.
Sure. Okay.
And his hands are massive. It could swallow me up. Like, it's big.
Yeah.
And I mean, he gave some insights into what it means to be rich. That's what I got from it. Like, that's all.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like, I've watched all this shit and like I don't fuck with that. Like, I don't fuck with the stuff he says. I don't fuck with his philosophies on life. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna learn much about like.
Yeah, you just talk about how wealthy he is and how much he pays his opening acts. $15,000, bro.
Nice.
That's 300 grand.
But he's lying.
I don't know, but I mean that's what he told us. So I was like, I want to open
Because like $15,000 is a lot for Americans, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's crazy amount.
That's more than like headliners get.
What? Then he's talking cuck.
Like, unless you are like a Steve Harvey type, you know, like, but your average fucking like headline act's getting a couple grand.
What?
Yeah, like unless you're
You just burst my bubble.
like unless you're like actually like filling out massive stadiums, which Steve Harvey does do, so I'm sure he can. But like the fucking Red Cup boys aren't getting 15 grand a fucking show, bro.
100%. Who's your favorite comedian?
Who's my favorite comedian?
Locally and internationally.
Oh shit. I mean, Mark Lottering like is probably the GOAT. Like, but at the moment, I think Dylan Oliphant's doing the best work out of anyone.
No, I mean you personally.
Yeah. Dylan Oliphant. No, like I love Mark Lottering. I grew up fucking like watching his stuff like on TV. Like that fucking joke that he has like with
debit orders.
No, it's like the mom like hitting her son and I told you not to hit people. I can't like do it, but like it's like don't hit people. Like,
I do enjoy his delivery style.
Yeah,
I think it's quite.
And then also amazing. Like especially from a young age, like it gave me an insight into a community I didn't really know a lot about in terms of like, you know, Cape Coloureds and that, and really. Yeah, so like for me, growing up, I would say him. But at the moment, Dylan Oliphant's probably my favorite South African comedian.
I haven't seen Dylan in a while.
His show Choosers Violence is fucking great.
Is it?
Like I'm pumped on it. Like I really, really, really enjoyed watching it, and I'm keen to see. He's coming back to Durban. I chatted to him recently because I might interview him for one of the people I write for. So yeah, if that can happen, that'll be cool. But other than that, I mean, Bojack's fucking great. You know, love him. Like he's really fun. Who else? I used to like Martin Evans. He doesn't do comedy anymore, but he was my favorite for a while.
Oh yeah,
like love.
He stopped.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's fucking traveling the world doing things. He's bought a boat. I don't know.
I feel like he's you, like the older version of you.
Yeah, like I do feel like we connect in certain ways. Definitely. But yeah, Martin Evans used to be someone who I really enjoyed, like watching quite a bit.
I watched him quite a few times at Parker's.
But then internationally, Stuart Lee, Bo Burnham, probably like my two faves.
You? I like Rod Gilbert.
Rod Gilbert, wow, that's a strange one to just pull out of nowhere.
Yeah, Rod Gilbert. I just enjoy his delivery.
Yeah,
he's ranting and it's funny, and the way he does it, you know, like he does his facial expressions and his punchlines are like it's predictable, but it's just well delivered and it's angry, you know. And I think I look at it and I'm like, I can't do that. And that's why I think that's amazing. Yeah. So I love Rod Gilbert. And obviously the best of the best is Dave Chappelle. Like Sticks and Stones and The Closer was just amazing. I think it was amazing. And people missed it.
I don't know. I think we'll disagree there. Like
why?
What do you mean? Like the fucking whack transphobia, like.
But that's what I'm saying. You missed it.
No, I didn't miss it. I got what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
But I saw what he was actually saying. Like he was busy blaming this fucking like the crowd, you know, for the woman killing herself when it's like he was responsible for that as well. And then also trying to like claim like friendship with someone who you weren't really fucking friends with on like this international fucking thing. Yeah. Like because you got them to open for you once and then now you're creating this whole fucking culture war around it is fucking whack. Like I used to love Dave Chappelle for sure. And I actually think Bird Revelation is his best work.
Yeah.
Like hands down.
Yes.
But like I think hopping on, like I think he's wrong, wrong about the culture war. Like
I'm not saying anything about the politics, but
the politics are part of the jokes. It's part of what he's saying. It's part of his thesis.
But I enjoyed the funny. Like I just found it really hilarious.
Okay.
And I thought like I would not be able to come up with those punchlines. That's what I mean.
I mean, the only joke like that I really liked was the how many they thems. Like,
oh yeah.
How many days? Like, was it one day or many days? That's it. Like, that's clever. Well done.
I think he's just a genius writer, I don't know. I don't know if
good
I agree
writer.
with all these. Listen, I know you're a writer. Okay, fine. You're better than Dave Chappelle. What do you want me to say, Bob?
Obviously, I didn't think anyone
Doubted.
thought I was like if you've read my work and you've read Dave Chappelle's, like it's clear. It's just most people haven't read my work, so that's why he's still revered higher.
I get you. Okay, I need to read your work.
It's a matter of distribution.
The dissemination process, guys. It's just
as a black man, he's got more privilege.
cut that out. How did Bob Perfect die again?
No, like I used to dig Chappelle, but I do feel like, yeah, he's on the wrong side of history here. Like, I think the critique that, like the public in general, like the cancel culture is a thing, but I think a lot of the canceling comes from people who are fans of people like Dave fucking Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're just as much on, like, people on the left are to go, oh, don't say that, don't do that. Like, they're literally doing that. They're literally going, oh, your stuff is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, the way you think, the way you believe, the way blah, 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 and you shouldn't do that. And they're like, oh, people, we can't say anything anymore. Like, it's whack. It's just like, I'm just so tired of that shit. Like, I'm super pumped. Like, after this, I'm going to be watching Mark Maron's From Dark to Bleak, or From Bleak to Dark. I can't remember which way it goes. But yeah, because he's someone who, like, does dark shit. But, like, I think we're at an age where you need to actually be really considerate, like, about what you're saying and, like, what the greater point you're making is. And, like, I just think that Dave Chappelle is just like, you can't tell me what to say.
Yeah.
Like, that's his whole fucking thing. And it's like, no one's telling you, well, they're saying like, hey, dog, please just don't be a fucking cunt about it.
Don't say some things.
No, like, but it's not even like don't say some things. It's like, just be fucking smarter, funnier. Like, just, because I actually don't agree with you. I don't think the closer and that is that funny. Like, I really don't. Like, I think a lot of it's like just a little bit above like the reach of like an average comedian. Like, I think his work, but that's just me. Like, because also, like, I do think like early Chappelle was like fucking great.
Yeah, he was the OG. I don't know. Maybe I've watched too much comedy.
I'm not trying to like...
You burst my bubble a little bit, I won't lie. But because I didn't see it from that perspective. I was just enjoying comedy.
Obviously, but like, I am like that like...
No, I like that you think critically. That's really nice. That's what I tell my students to do every time we read a journal article. Think critically, engage with the article. But I mean...
Check the sources.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just watching it to laugh, and I just really enjoyed it because I haven't seen comedy that's
so Mo Vawda turf.
I haven't seen comedy in a while that's made me laugh for like beginning to end, where it made me think, it made me emotional, and it made me laugh out loud, at some point. So I think that roller coaster journey when I was watching it, I just had fun with it. That's all it was. I wasn't overthinking what he was saying and who it's offending.
Yeah, I take it you didn't see Jared Carmichael's latest special.
No, I haven't.
And check it out. It's like...
Yeah. There is a comedian that I watched recently, and I didn't want to bring it up because I don't know his name.
But I imagine you to be like a Jim Gaffigan type.
Oh yeah, I do enjoy Jim Gaffigan. It's hard for me to choose. Okay, it's very hard.
Yeah, like every clean comedian, it's like I like Jim Gaffigan.
But that's the thing. I don't know. I like comedians that are not me.
Yeah.
I like to, I enjoy it because it's like, oh, I would never do that. And that's amazing.
Same. Like, I watched Stuart Lee and like, I just want to do what he does, but I could never do it. Like, it's just, no one can. Like, it's just like, yeah, he's on a different fucking level. Same thing with Bo Burnham. It's like, oh, so I'd have to become like a fucking genius level musician as well as like...
Yes, 100%. It's almost impossible for us to be those people, and that's why I think it's amazing. That uniqueness, that USP that they have is just wow. I just want to be that guy.
Hey? The unique selling point.
Yeah, exactly. See, I didn't provide context.
But when you're doing certain conferences, saying USP will hit.
Is the USP.
Yeah. Whereas in other times, saying unique selling point the USP. Like, you know? And then now you can say USP throughout the rest of the joke.
Then it's fine.
See, like I'm glad I could teach you some
taught
comedy
me
lessons
something.
today.
I enjoy coming to your lovely podcast.
Speaking of which, yeah, we do need to start rounding up. So I'm going to ask you the question I ask everyone to end the podcast.
Sure.
And that is, what are you doing with your life? No.
Nobody knows. This is like a counseling session now.
But it is,
swallow.
yeah,
That's
like I
what I
haven't
do.
actually been drinking water. Fuck. Usually I forget.
See, that joke was below the belt.
It's fine. This is all getting cut out anyway. But yeah, so what is a big mistake that you've learned an important lesson from?
Whew. Wow. Coming on this podcast. I'm kidding. Let me think. That's put me on the spot, actually.
See, if you listened to the podcast before, it's literally a thing I ask everyone. So.
Yeah, who makes it to the end of this podcast?
Quite a lot of people. Literally, last week's guest was very excited to answer this question because she listens to the podcast.
Okay.
So, you know, like I'm just saying, when you're like, Bob, why don't you ever watch my videos? Let's just see, like, you know, appreciate that it's mutual.
From today, we have to make sure that we watch and listen to each other's stuff. Because we're friends, right? Okay, done. My biggest regret is not listening to the podcast. At this point, right now.
What is the lesson you learned from it?
Listen to the podcast. Come prepared. That's the lesson. Come prepared. I think that's my life lesson, actually. Be prepared, because, I mean, I'm never prepared. The reason I have 5 degrees is because I was never prepared for life. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just did it and I went head first. Sometimes the risk taking pays off, but most times it doesn't, actually. You need to be prepared. That's the main thing. Yeah, that's a life lesson. So my biggest regret, I can't tell you out loud, but I'll tell you later.
Shit, mine is that this hasn't been recording.
What? You've done that joke before, haven't you?
Never actually. So you got a first timer there.
Yes. Boom.
Cool. Thanks, Mo. Anything else you want to leave the people with?
Let me think. Well, I have a lot of philosophical sayings, but I don't want to be like cheesy and do one of those. So I'm going to come up with my own one. Do not stretch your hands. Okay, no, this is the one Prophet Muhammad said. Do not stretch your hands to what may cause your own destruction. And I'll leave you with that.
How the fuck am I meant to know?
Be prepared.
Like, maybe reaching my hands to do research on the thing destroys me as well. Like,
no, if you do research, you won't do a closer.
Exactly. If you don't go on Reddit for all your fucking information. Anyway,
thank you for having me.
This podcast is dedicated to the memory of Dave Chappelle. So he's dead. He just used to be better.
If you're listening, Dave Chappelle, I love you, man. You're Muslim.
Yeah, Mo is looking for opening slots.
Yeah, $15,000, please.
So that was Mo Vawda, to be exact. And yeah, I had a great time there. I hope you enjoyed the chat too. You know, you can see that people can disagree and still get along. It's amazing how that happens. Doesn't happen after the comedy though. Yo, the Dave Chappelle thing, it's actually like a pretty divisive fucking topic. I'll be honest with you. And like, I feel like there is a vibe where it's like you're either pro Chappelle or you're anti Chappelle. Like that's the left wing, right wing dynamic that we have going on in stand-up comedy. And I'm neither. Like, I'm anti Chappelle's fucking anti-trans shit. Like, that's obvious. Like, fuck off with that. It's whack, especially at the moment when you look at, you know, a lot of the deaths that are happening. Like, there is a fucking right-wing wave at the moment of anti-trans shit, and it's fucking whack. We live in 2023. Like, people should be allowed to live their lives without other people dictating how they can fucking do it. And that's the thing that bugs me about like the whole Chappelle thing and about like the culture wars at the moment, is that it actually leads to the deaths of real people. like his friend that he says he fucking had in the show. And so yeah, that shit fucking bugs me. I am one of those people who believes in punching up. I believe that stand-up comedy shouldn't be a tool to fucking attack the marginalized. Like, I think you might have picked that up from some of the things I brought up in this chat. I'm not saying that Mo does, like that he explained his vibe to it and that, and I'm just expanding on the points that I fucking made, like I don't think Mo's like a terrible guy by any means, or like anti-trans or anything, like I get it, like some people see different things in art and like don't engage in certain aspects of it, and that's your daba, brother. That's the way I feel about that. But me personally, I am tired of hearing from Dave Chappelle. Like that's just my own personal opinion. One person I'm not tired of hearing from is Mark Maron, who released his special From Bleak to Dark this week, and I've watched it like 3 times already. So that'll tell you where I'm at with that. And yeah, fucking loved it. Deals with a lot of heavy issues. Is pretty dark, pretty flagrant. Yes, flagrant. I thought I said fragrant, which I'm sure he is pretty fragrant. Apparently he wears patchouli, if the video that popped up on my Instagram is to be believed. But yeah, I think he actually the discussion that Mo and I were having about, dark jokes and like off, color jokes and that. Like, I do dark jokes. I don't think it's, wrong, like, to do it. And like Mark's special goes in places that are heavy, and like I fully believe comedy is a great tool in grief, in fucking darkness, in all the horrific shit about this world. Life is difficult, life is tough, and being able to laugh at the misery, at the fucking pain, at the heartache, at all of it is important. But I don't think creating pain for fucking marginalized people is the way to go about doing that. Now, I know that might be a controversial opinion that gets me cancelled. Fucking whatever, man. Like, but that is it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if you're not speaking truth to power, then what the fuck are you even doing? Like, just put the microphone down, go home, shut the fuck up, please. It's not like these guys don't have enough money, like your Dave Chappelle's, your Ricky Gervais's, and that's why they're so fucking out of touch at the moment. It's because they don't know what it's like to live a real life anymore. They don't know what it's like to hang out with real fucking people. They don't know what the streets are saying. And yeah, it just feels out of touch, and I've ranted too long about that. So let's talk about something else for just a little bit, and that something else is Paramore's album This Is Why. It was also released this week, so two early birthday presents for myself. And yeah, thoroughly fucking love it. Basically been listening to it every morning whilst I do my morning pages and shit, and has me dancing around the house basically singing, this is why I don't leave the house. And yeah, hella relatable, Hayley Williams, hella relatable. Big fan of your work, and not just Hayley Williams' work, obviously. Paramore is a band. It's not just her. She's got her own solo stuff. But yeah, if you're a man of a certain, not even just a man, you're a lot of people, men, women, non-binary people, everyone loves Hayley Williams, especially if you're of a certain age. And it is hard to break those two things apart, but the music's very different than Hayley's solo stuff. So yeah, anyway, go check out the new fucking Paramore. I'm rambling now, which means it's definitely time for me to give some shout outs, because over at patreon.com/almostperfect there is a tier. It's called the Titular Titles tier, and it is a $10 tier. It is the top tier, and you get to pick your title right here on the Almost Perfect podcast. So shout outs to Karan Slemon, the Almost Perfect hedge fund manager, Riz Ventura, the director of purchasing, Russell Grant, our Far East correspondent, Neil Green, the key grip, Rousseau, the storage clerk of subtle heresies in the lesser Overberg region, Kath Jenkin, the inevitable ruler of the universe, and Queen Swifty, Karan Chetty, the assistant to the regional manager, and then Stephen Olivier, our executive producer. Shout outs to all of you. Reminder that if you want to hear your name shouted out on the podcast, just go to patreon.com/almostperfect. I'm going to give a big thank you to Damien Root for the banging fucking intro music you hear each and every single week, and the smooth bed music you hear underneath my dulcet tones. And lastly, shout outs to you for listening all the way through to the end. I will catch you on the flip side.